So, how can a single backheel pass in a soccer game, just one little move, spark accusations of disrespect, get two different managers absolutely furious, and end with a public apology? We're going to break down this one moment of flair that went so wrong and started a huge debate about sportsmanship. And it all kicked off with these few words from the opposing team's coach. Now, in pro sports, calling someone disrespectful is a heavy accusation. It's not just about making a mistake anymore, it's about your attitude, your intent, and that's really what turned a simple on-field blunder into a full-blown controversy. So you have to ask, what on earth did this player do to get that kind of reaction? I mean, was it some kind of calculated showboating, a moment of pure arrogance, or was it just a really weird lapse in judgment? Okay, let's get into it. Section 1. The disrespectful error. We're going to break down exactly what happened. So, picture this. It's a classic FA Cup match. You've got the huge Premier League club Liverpool playing against Barnsley, a team from a lower league. It's a real David versus Goliath situation. And, with Liverpool already up 2-0, the game seems to be going exactly how everyone expected. And right in the middle of all of this is one guy, Liverpool's Dominik Szoboszlai. And in the space of just one half of soccer, he somehow managed to play the role of both the hero and the villain. And this is where it gets wild. First, Szoboszlai scores an absolute screamer from 35 yards out, just a moment of total genius. But then, a little later, with his team just cruising, he jogs back into his own penalty box and tries this super casual, almost lazy backheel to clear the ball. It was a terrible decision. And you can't make this stuff up. Here's the ironic twist. The guy who scores from the mistake, Adam Phillips, a player who actually grew up in Liverpool's own youth academy. I mean, scoring at Anfield was probably his childhood dream, and it was just gift-wrapped for him by this totally baffling error. All right, Section 2, the view from Barnsley. As you can imagine, the other team, well, they did not hold back. And this quote from the Barnsley coach, Conor Hourihane, gets right to the heart of it. What he's really saying here is, this wasn't just a mistake, this was arrogance. It was a move a player would only ever try against a team he doesn't see as a real threat. So for Barnsley, this was a massive slap in the face. That backheel wasn't just a bad play, it was a symbol. It basically screamed that Liverpool thought the game was so easy it was just a practice session, and that Barnsley wasn't even worth their full attention. A total dismissal. Okay, Section 3, the view from Liverpool. But here's the thing. The anger wasn't just coming from the other side. Szoboszlai's own manager was just as mad, but for totally different reasons. See, Liverpool's manager Arne Slot saw this mistake as part of a much bigger, much more worrying problem with his own team. He's pointing out that they have this bad habit of getting comfortable, getting complacent, and letting teams back into games they should have already won. For him, this wasn't about disrespecting the opponent, it was about his own team losing focus. Again. And you could just feel Slot's frustration. He called it a weird choice and talked about how gifting a goal like that just flips the whole game on its head. It gives the underdog a shot of hope and puts all this needless pressure back on your own guys. And yeah, he made it crystal clear that he and Szoboszlai were going to have a little chat about it later. So next up, apology and aftermath. With both coaches pre-steamed, how did the player at the center of it all respond? Well, you got to give him credit. Szoboszlai didn't try to hide from it. After the game, he completely owned his mistake. He apologized straight up to his teammates and said, plain and simple, I made the game difficult with a very simple mistake. And, in the end, that one moment of madness didn't actually change the final result. Liverpool got it together and went on to win pretty comfortably, 4-1. So while the backheel caused a lot of drama, Liverpool's talent was just too much, and they moved on to the next round. Which leaves us with this big question that goes way beyond this one game. In sports, where do you draw the line between just being creative and being flat-out disrespectful? Does a super talented, super confident player have the right to try something audacious? Or does the context of the game, the score, the opponent, mean that some risks are just an insult you should never, ever take? It's a tough one.